The day dawned with the promise of more heat. No cloud in the sky. In downtown Dallas, you could see the heat shimmering up off the streets. Numb from over 3 weeks of sweltering, Texans arose to yet another day of getting through the hottest summer ever known here. Out at the National Weather Service station at DFW Airport, there were no banners or balloons, but they knew this day would be special. Sometime this morning, the temperature would hit 100, setting a new record. 26 straight days of 100-plus miserable degrees. This is the official National Weather Service thermometer for the city of Dallas right here. At 11:05 a.m., it clicked down to the 100-degree mark, and it hardly slowed down. It just kept right on going. The old record was set in August of 1952. For 25 days in a row that summer, it was over 100. But the highs back then were 103, 104, at most 107. Not the 112 and 113-degree days we've been blessed with this summer.
Had 2 or 3 guys get heat exhausted and get sick. And you just got to watch what you do. You got to take your time doing something. You get hot, you got to sit down and rest and cool off.
Did you suffer more in 52 or this summer?
I'm suffering more now.
Why?
I'm older.
In that soggy summer of 52, not nearly as many Texans died from the heat. Air conditioning was a rarity then, and maybe people were more used to it. This summer, 96 Texans have died, 76 of them in Dallas County. And all we can look forward to are more heat and most likely more records. Bill Brown, Channel 8 News, Dallas.
ZKG.
Huh?
What is ZKG?
Yeah, get a G and have him get some urine.
Which man?
I think the one that you just, it's on the deal there.
Get him over here, get his
2, 3, go. Okay.
Somebody go get the rectal.
Okay. I need a little bit of tape off.
No, I don't really think so. I think most people know what the risk factors are. Again, I told you, old age, heart disease, alcoholism, generally the same factors year after year.
What more can you say? It was hot yesterday, it's sure hot today, and you know it's going to be hot tomorrow. That 100-degree mark is surpassed with depressing regularity. The weather forecast takes on a numbing sameness. When will it end? Everybody wants to know. Out at DFW Airport at the National Weather Service station, a special moment today. No bands, no fanfare. But at 11:05 in the morning, the temperature hit 100, a new record. 26 straight days for Dallas at 100-plus sweltering, miserable degrees.
Well, when I work outside, I constantly put the water hose all over my body, and on my head and everything.
What used to be our hottest summer hit in 1952. That year in August, it was over 100 degrees for 25 days in a row. But most Texans we've talked with say the summer of 80 feels worse. How are you staying cool this summer?
Me, just moving around a little bit, you know. Staying on air conditioning.
In that sizzling summer of 52, Texans died from the heat, but this year many more are dying. 96 across the state, 76 in Dallas County. It could be that our air-conditioned existence has given us less resistance to a long siege of heat like this. The old record for the longest heat wave stood for 28 years, but this new record's probably only going to be around about 24 hours. There's no doubt we'll set a new record tomorrow, and the day after that, and the day after that, and the day after that. And remember, we still have August to look forward to. Bill Brown, Channel 8 News.
We legitimately are looking at one heck of a disaster.
Texas Congressman Charles Stenholm should know he's a rancher hit hard by the drought. Today in Gainesville, Stenholm faced over 300 angry, frustrated North Texas farmers. Months without rain have devastated their crops. Some have been forced to sell their cattle. To us, the heat and dryness bring discomfort. To these men, they threaten disaster, the loss of livestock, farm machines, years of work, even the land. Across Texas, the drought damage has now topped $2 billion. These farmers came here to see where they can get some help.
The wheat loss is going to be in excess of 75%. The grain sorghum crop, what there is, probably is going to be in excess of a 90% total loss.
Officials explained that low-interest loans could be obtained and special emergency lots of feed grain brought in with federal help. But complex regulations could make 80% of these farmers ineligible. Many stood to gripe that red tape and delays make many of the aid programs useless.
We have programs that are not built for the individual family farmer, that our money is going out of. You as a farmer, or as an American farmer, are in trouble. In the future, you're going to have some help to stay in business. Now that's just as plain as it can be, and you need to face up to that.
One farmer complained bitterly, "We don't have any power. This country's 97% consumers and 3% farmers." It was a bleak gathering that produced no specific plan of action. The farmers left knowing that soon, some of them will probably be out of business. By the time government help arrives, it will probably come too late to help much in this drought. But what most Texas farmers really want is to make enough money from their farms over the years so that when bad times like this do come, they won't lose everything they have. Bill Brown, Channel 8 News, Gainesville.
Our ASDS programs we had, and some of the programs were a little back, we could get some rain, but it's getting slimmer. Our local ASDS, our local ASDS, we're trying to get them out. It's an emergency feed program, but with feed grain, the small grain grades is separated. Over Division of Associated Milk Producers. And I was receiving a lot of calls from over the area, Cook County, other counties, Wise. Grain, you can get a little rating on that, not the other program. And we feel like that's one unfair. About everyone we can think of, and we've got a good response from it.
This Hobocat didn't have trouble edging its way into Louisville Lake today, but for many boats, the lake is creating quite a problem. The heat and lack of rainfall has caused the water to be 10 feet below its normal level.
The ramps become very shallow. In fact, the toe of the ramps becomes lower than the bottom of the lake, so therefore it's hard to float the boats off the trailers.
This is the second lowest that the water level has been at Louisville Lake. However, water enthusiasts say that conditions are worse towards the middle. Unexpected islands are popping up and stumps and debris are more common there.
Tony, are you having any trouble with the lake today?
Just a lot of problems with loading and unloading our boat. There's been a lot of trash around out where we've been skiing up by the dam, and with the lake being so low, we've been running into a lot of sandbars, and mainly that's our biggest problem.
Although the heat and low water is discouraging many people from using Louisville Lake, the City Parks and Recreation say it's not bad enough to cause any alarm. With more careful attention, boating on the lake should be just as much fun as ever. Lisa Burkhardt, Channel 8 Sports.
With the prospect of several more days ahead with a temperature over 100, the city assembled a variety of experts and service providers who are coordinating accommodations, food, transportation, and other help that so far has gone unused.
There are groups of people that will refuse to move out, and there is really nothing we can do. We cannot forcibly take them out of their homes.
Oh, it'd be abandoning certain things that I'm accustomed to. And I don't know.
You just don't like to do that?
It's a question I've never considered because I've never had it put to me before.
And Aunt Lee Howard is typical. Over 65, living on a fixed income, scrimping on air conditioning because of the cost of energy. So he and the 90,000 other Dallas residents over 60 are the target of a special emphasis.
When somebody needs to be transported to the shelters, they can call the number that we've given out, 670-4275, and we'll get a radio-controlled urban rehab inspector with an air-conditioned car by within 30 minutes.
The city is urging people to use parks and recreation facilities for an hour, a day, or a night to escape the heat. The Red Cross is prepared to feed them and provide cots along with the other services already in place. People are also urged to check on their neighbors, see if they're all right. If not, call the city for help. Doctors warn many may not realize they are victims of the heat until it's too late. John Criswell, Channel 8 News.
Well, the heat can get you down. But some of the zoo's 2,000-plus animal population, like these orangutans, are kept in fairly well-shaded cages and seem to be happy with their fresh fruit diets. Among the gorillas, zoo workers have put up a false ceiling of corrugated metal to keep out some of the boiling sun, and beneath it, big man Bomb with his companion Jenny spends his time eating peanuts and looking intimidating. And Shamba, remember the pregnant gorilla, seems unaffected by the heat. Doctors say she's over her morning sickness and still expected to deliver around November 1st. But because things look good at the zoo today doesn't mean the heat won't take its toll sometime.
In this type of weather, our real problem is our old animals, the ones that are up in the years, and people are the same way. This type of heat is very stressful on the animals as well as the human. And the old ones that have maybe some chronic problem or just old age like me, well, the heat's a lot harder on them. It's really difficult.
Creatures exposed to direct sunlight, such as the king of beasts here, have the benefit now of a perpetual shower installed last Friday by draping a long garden hose atop the cages. And of course, some animals are right in their element anyway. Though when a family stays as close together as these pygmy hippos, tension is bound to build up, even in the nice, cool water.
The heat wave, which settled over the area more than a week ago, continues. It's been responsible for 8 days of record-breaking temperatures so far this summer. With the extreme heat, the number of heat-related deaths has risen. So far, nearly 30 persons have been reported dead, but the Dallas County Medical Examiner's Office says only 7 can be officially called death due to heat stroke.
The important thing is to have hospital personnel and people like this take body temperature when these people come in. Without a documented body temperature, we cannot ascribe death to heat stroke.
Dr. Norton adds that the other deaths were caused by cardiovascular problems in elderly persons. The heat with those victims added extra stress. She recommends that the only way to avoid the intense effects of the 100-plus temperatures is to take refuge in air-conditioned shelters. And if you know people who don't have air conditioning in their homes, she says get them to a neighbor's house who does. Uma Pemaraju, Channel 8 News.
This is Lucky, the 200-pound St. Bernard who is currently the star attraction up for adoption at the Dealey Animal Center near downtown Dallas. But officials are hesitant to place Lucky right now because of the heat. Lucky, like so many other dogs, has spent much of his life indoors, and to place a dog or cat not used to the heat outside could be extremely dangerous.
What happens is that they simply cannot eliminate the heat as fast as built up in the body. And as a result of that, it has an adverse effect on the brain, and if it's not corrected within a reasonable length of time, it can cause irreversible damage or even death.
The center has been warning for years about leaving animals locked in hot cars, but the outside heat we've been having is yet another matter. Animal control officers for the city of Dallas have been taking more calls than usual about stray dogs and dogs suffering from the heat. The problem lies in how animals handle the heat. While man and many other animals perspire to naturally lower body temperature, cats and dogs don't have sweat glands and must pant to cool themselves. Normal body temperature for a dog is somewhat higher than for a human, 102 degrees, but with a rise of only 5 or 6 degrees, serious trouble can result. So basically, pet owners should follow these simple rules. If your pet is used to being outdoors, it'll probably be all right if there's at least some shade available and plenty of fresh, cool water. If, on the other hand, your dog or cat is used to being indoors, it's probably best to leave it there, at least until the heat wave breaks. And when will that be? Well, now that's another question. Michael Brown, Channel 8 News.